Howdy do y'all, this is John, and today we are talking about Spider-Man Brand New Day, a new movie out in theaters right now. And in Spider-Man Brand New Day, it deals with Spider-Man. He is doing his normal Spider-Man thing, however, two things occur at the same time. One, a new villain shows up, however, it's a villain he can't really see, but it is affecting people's minds. But also at the same time, yes, this is going on. You know, stuff's happening with his powers. His powers are starting to mutate, and he starts being able to do all this other kind of stuff. So he's trying to deal with that, but also at the same time, it is affecting his ability to find this new villain and take him to justice. And thus we have a movie. Now, to get things started, first and foremost, what I like about the movie. I like how this reminds me of Spider-Man 2, but not in a bad way, but in a good way. Spider-Man 2 is honestly my favorite Spider-Man movie from my favorite era of Spider-Man movies, the Tobey Maguire era. Spider-Man in that movie has a lot of stuff going on with him, and it's affecting his powers, blah blah blah. This movie, it has that as well, but they don't go in the same direction. Instead of he's losing his powers are mutating. They're getting stronger, they're enhancing. He can now shoot, organic webs just like Tobey's Spider-Man can. It's not bad, it's just it came out of bad timing because he's dealing, like I say, he's dealing with this new villain, and it's really affecting his ability to go after this person. Speaking of the villain, I'm not going to reveal who the villain is. However, I will say this about the villain. The villain's great. They're relatable. They have this motive that you're just in there going, okay, they're not trying to end the world or anything like that. This is a very personal vendetta. It's not, a world-ending vendetta, a world-ending situation or anything like that. And in my opinion, the best villains are like that. They're not, doomsday causing world-ending villains or anything like that. They're villains who were hurt and have a vendetta. I mean, like, some of them are world-ending, but the only way to make that work is if they don't see themselves as villains like Thanos. This isn't that. This villain's more like Kylon, someone who has a personal vendetta. But anyway, great villain. In terms of the performances, the two most important performances in the movie are by Tom Holland and Sadie Sink. Sadie Sink, I cannot disclose who she's playing. I know apparently it got leaked. I'm not a leaker though. I'm not an a-hole like that. But those two performances are easily the most important in the movie, because you have Tom Holland who's playing Spider-Man. He is drowned in grief, okay, because of the events of No Way Home. He's drowned in grief, and you have this event going on, and he needs to learn to let go of his grief in order to, properly handle this situation. I have to say, Tom Holland, he does a great job at handling that complexity, giving, easily an emotional and relatable performance of Spider-Man. Sadie Sink, again, great job. Cannot say who she's playing, but let's just say this. Just like Tom Holland, she has a lot to do and less screen time in order to do any of it. She pulls it off. It definitely shows how good of an actress she can be, because I haven't seen her in too much. And as far as Destin Daniel Lynn's direction goes, he definitely takes a very different approach than John Watts did with the previous three Spider-Man movies. First and foremost, from a visual perspective, it's definitely a much better look at movie than John Watts' Spider-Man movies. I know I love No Way Home. However, his Spider-Man movies, they feel too well lit, and the special effects in them are not that strong. Lin, on the other hand, he only uses special effects when he has to, and they're a lot better in this one than in the previous three Tom Holland Spider-Man movies. But also, the way in which his movies are lit, he's always, getting these cinematographers that know how to balance light and shadow. A lot of people forget that there needs to be a balance between light and shadow. Some scenes need to be more super well lit than others. Other scenes, they benefit from darkness. And thankfully, Lin understands this, and it's definitely a beautiful looking movie from a visual standpoint. But also how he handles tone. This isn't, a stereotypical MCU movie with an absurd amount of jokes or anything like that. Lin decides to only let jokes happen when we need a laugh. He was dang good on that timing, because, when he provided something funny, or when the movie provided something funny, it was timed at a point where, yes, a laugh was necessary. But also, when it's not necessary, the movie's serious. He provides laughs when they're needed, but also, gets serious when you need to get serious. And as far as the action goes, the action is definitely the best in the Tom Holland series. Again, they only used CGI when needed, and that was to provide, at least with combat stuff like laser blasts or, tracer rounds, electrical volts, stuff like that. When it came to the hand-to-hand combat, though, everything was done for real, and you can tell. You can clearly tell when everything's done for real, and, it's much better that way than, doing everything in a computer. Not only that, but Lin showed us he could do great action as a director with Shang-Chi. And he brought that same A-game to this movie. It was all filmed in this exciting, entertaining, but also intense way. That way, you're at the edge of your seat and you're wanting to see Spider-Man come through. Guys, at the end of the day, I'm having issues thinking about things I don't like about this movie. I know y'all probably hate it when that happens, but I have to be honest. I just cannot think of anything I don't like about this movie. Great story, great acting, especially from Holland and Sadie. It's a visually good looking movie. The action and combat is all top notch. They successfully balanced humor, seriousness, and also emotional weight to an extreme degree. I would definitely have to argue that, yes, this is definitely like No Way Home. This is definitely top tier Spider-Man. However, Spider-Man 2 will always be my favorite. I'm going to give Spider-Man Brand New Day a 10. Well, that's all the time I have for today. Please look forward to more videos real soon. Please hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. Please also subscribe if you're new to the channel. Please don't forget, I also have a secondary channel where I do gaming content. Please go check it out. And as per usual, please remember, the Bratitsky Winter.